and unmuting the microphone, and here we are. So, welcome in everybody who is already joining us this evening. Thank you for being here right out of the gate. Got a couple of announcements to go through first, and then we will get into picking up where we left off last time with our new chapter in Wings of Anadar. So, first off, we have new merch. Teased a little bit on Instagram earlier today. Forgot to put it on Twitter. Those of you that only follow on Twitter, sorry. Also forgot to put it on Facebook, so follow on Instagram. But the hoodie is now here. This one is a like lightweight hoodie that is really, really good for like layering in colder months or for wearing inside of warmer environments, whether it be like during the warmer months or if you are inside of a warmer house in the winter. You don't have to take all your stuff off. You just take your coat off and then you've got your hoodie underneath of it. It's super comfortable. I love it. I've been waiting to get a hoodie for a very long time for this, but I wanted to wait until fall to kind of launch it. So I waited to order myself one as well. It's got the logo on the front and the back. I pointed those opposite way, but whatever, you get the point. And then we've got the other shirt that I don't know if we ever even like alluded to that we were going to put it on a shirt. But we have the Pass Without a Trace PWAT shirt. Our constant joke has been the PWAT SWAT team thing with Pass Without a Trace, and now we have it. Both of these can be seen at RoleThis.com/shop. Keep forgetting we changed that. And you can get kind of like a closer up look at some of the elements of the Pass Without a Trace shirt and grab one if you want. Both things are like marked to where like it kind of was like a break even on them for these because we really thought they were super cool and we wanted to just get them out there so that people could start wearing them because they're awesome. So head over there, grab those if you're interested. Also, we have, of course, our sponsors. They're always here. They're going to be popping up all over the stream. Pay attention to them. They're awesome. They're amazing. But there's 3 of them, and I don't want to take 15 minutes to go through everybody right now. But definitely check out Arcane Goods, Found Familiar Coffee, and Reckless Deck. You'll see the links, discount codes, and all of that for them right below me when we switch over to the everybody scene here. And the reason that I'm rushing through the sponsor part is because we have other announcements. One of which being that November 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, we will all be at Midwest Game Fest in Independence, Missouri. If you have not heard of Midwest Game Fest yet, definitely look them up, check them out. If you're local to like the Kansas City area, go. It's amazing. They are, I believe, the largest dedicated tabletop convention in this general area for us. So if you are local, you'll want to be out there at least on Saturday when we do another live performance at, I think it is 11? It's 11 or noon. There will be an announcement on all of our social stuff tomorrow about it. I don't know why I didn't schedule it for today, but it's coming out tomorrow. So David actually reminded me about it right before we went live. So yeah, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on that so that you've got time to plan and prep and hopefully come out and see us do one of our live performances. This one's going to be really cool because it's a dedicated convention. It's a dedicated space just for us to do our show on a stage. Like, it's crazy, but it's really awesome. And I'm super, super pumped. And so is everybody else. So we would love to see you guys out there at Midwest Game Fest. All the details for that, of course, can be found at midwestgamefest.com. I believe it is. I don't think they have a weird thing. I think it's just .com. But anyways, if you search Midwest Game Fest, they are the only Midwest Game Fest. So Google them, go to their stuff, buy some tickets. .org. MidwestGameFest.org. And definitely head out there. That's right, because they're technically a nonprofit. There's some really cool stuff that's associated with that, but unfortunately I don't have all the details. So please go to MidwestGameFest.org to get all the details about their awesome convention that's coming up. I will personally also be on a dungeon mastering panel on Friday, which is the 15th. At I think it's around 5, and then we're still kind of in discussions, but I think it was pretty much locked in about doing a streaming for an audience or playing for an audience type of panel as well on Sunday. So we've got stuff Friday, Saturday, and Sunday where you guys come out and see us. And we'll also have a booth set up the entire time as well, just to kind of like hang out with everybody and showcase stuff alongside Dragonclaw Chainmail, which happens to be owned by our player, David, for playing Elanduar. And he's got a special announcement for you as well. So I'm going to toss it over to him there.
All right. So I am the owner of Dragonclaw Chainmail. I make dice bags and a bunch of different stuff. I have a website, Dragonclaw Chainmail, with an L-E at the end, the old English way of spelling chainmail, .com. And I have a special promotion code for those who like and follow RoleThis. If you go to my website and at checkout, enter the code RoleThis, you'll earn 10% off all of your purchase. So that's a pretty big, awesome thing.
Yes.
And I will be at Midwest Game Fest. You can check out my booth there.
Talk about your classes. Did you have classes?
Yes. Oh, yes. I have beginner's class on Friday evening. I don't know exactly what time yet. We're still trying to figure that out. But if you are wanting to learn how to make chainmail, there's a 1-hour class you can sign up for. And then whatever you make, you take home with you.
It's going to be super cool. I saw when you posted that and I was like, I might do that just because it sounds awesome. So, I'll be sitting right there. So I might just turn around and be like, hey, you're going to do the thing? Cool. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be really cool. And I think that was a phenomenal idea. Come out to Midwest Game Fest. We're all going to be there doing really cool stuff. And it's a dedicated tabletop convention. Why wouldn't you be there? It's amazing. Go. But picking up where we left off in our story, we'll do a little bit of a kind of recap thing. It's not going to be long. Basically, what has taken place over the course of the last few episodes, the city of Nethrashara was under siege by a demonic incursion. The rightful heir, Mithressa Sornway, was leading a band of rangers that were kind of scouting the city for the past near century after the fall of Nethrashara. And they'd never been able to really make headway because they didn't have much as far as alliances, allegiances in the area other than their own organization. However, with the coming of our party, they were motivated to move forward after receiving a communication stone that would bring about the army from Durfast, the dwarven capital in the Cloudspire Mountains. And after Mithressa called upon the king of the dwarves at Durfast, whose name eludes me, yes, he sent out Captain Rugrak to lead the assault through a carefully crafted and hidden passageway of tumultuous water that went and burst forth from the side of the mountains at the same moment, whereas our group was entering into the fray themselves, kind of leading the charge as Mithressa's rangers followed up. Through a series of violent events and close calls, our party actually did come out all alive. Even Maze, who just happens to not be here right now, and
less alive today.
Other thing changed here. Maze, unfortunately, player for Maze is under the weather. So, Hillary, feel better if you're watching. Sorry that I just forgot you weren't sitting right here because I'm so used to you being here, and I'm looking forward at that point. So sorry I missed that, but get to feeling better. But everybody did survive conveniently, and they have now left the city of Nethrashara after going through a few conversations with Mithressa herself and securing the alliance of Nethrashara for the coming battle in the east. They have also kept the rings that were gifted by Mithressa that enable them to have long-range communications, basically via it's similar to a message spell, basically. So it's a limited amount of words. You can't just sit there and have a full-blown hour-long conversation, but it is a limited amount of words you can utilize to contact someone else who is wearing one of the rings. You can contact everybody that's got one, or you can contact.
Is there a certain number of charges with that ring?
A certain number of daily charges, yes.
Okay.
There are 3.
Okay.
So you have 3 daily charges of a free message spell, basically, that you guys can use in any capacity, at any range, on the same plane, basically. So, yeah, if one of you happens to
on the same plane.
One of you happens to pop off into the Feywild, you're not going to be able to chat with everybody else.
There's an asterisk next to everything.
Yes. So at this point, we find our party at the base of the Cloudspire Mountains, having camped for the evening after traveling a ways along a northern edge pass between the Cloudspire Mountains and the Frigid Wilds, the most northern frozen area of Anadar. And it's been some time, a few days, since they left the city. It's been nothing too tumultuous. There were a couple of minor scuffles with maybe a couple of imps that had gotten out of the city, and you guys easily dispatched them together. At this point, we have the party resting.
Yeah.
With Kael Strats and Coral asleep, Elanduar deep within another trance, and Mazikeen standing watch. Your trance, Elanduar, comes to a close. Your eyes slowly open as you feel the slight warmth of the sun having started to rise. You look about. Make a perception roll for me.
Are we in the mountains?
Yes.
All right, nice.
Mountains
20.
bordering the tundra.
30, 20.
Okay. Maze is nowhere to be found. You don't see her anywhere. However, standing up and kind of peering around more like, where did she go? You look down and you see a large footprint. It's much larger than your own.
Would it be maybe a wolf form footprint?
So I planned all this stuff and forgot about the passage of time. No. You're familiar with wolf tracks. This doesn't appear to be wolfish. It looks almost more like a bear humanoid foot. Not bear, but a humanoid foot without a boot on. But large.
Okay.
So not a man.
Not a man bear. A regular foot that is a human.
A regular looking
that is not wearing a shoe.
It looks like a human foot.
B-A-R-E.
Bear. And
it
is much larger
bear
though.
Arms,
probably 4 to 5 times the size of just a regular footprint of if you took your shoe off and went into the snow. Not recommended. Yeah. And the Coral and Kael are still asleep. Just kind of slight rousing.
I'm going to do a survival check.
Okay.
Or just a tracking to see if I can not move from where I'm at, but see how long it's been.
Okay. Yeah.
What direction they're heading, if they're heading to water. Oh boy. That's not too bad. 13.
I say it happens when you have a bad roll as a ranger, as long as it's not a 1. A 13, yeah. So you see that it seems you at this point kind of inspecting a little further, not leaving the camp, but still just kind of getting down near where things are, keeping your awareness up, kind of glancing up and about cautiously, but not yet wanting to rouse the others. You do see what looks like a kind of divot in the snow where Maze might have been just sitting. And then it looks like she stood up and kind of moved a couple steps. So you see a couple steps of her footprints, and then no more footprints of hers. Okay. But the footprints of this large being seem to lead away from the camp towards the mountains.
So northward.
Technically southward.
And
north
because
of the
we're
mountains.
on the top.
Yeah, you're on
so
the top edge
the
of the
mountains
cloud spire.
is to the south, and then there's just like frozen waste to the
Yes,
north.
it's like a tundra area. There are some like hills and stuff. It's like plains, but all just snow.
Okay. I'll make a snowball and throw it at him.
Okay. Make an attack roll just because I want to see what happens here.
I rolled an 11, so plus my dexterity, I guess. Oh yeah. That's a 19.
My armor class is 20, so I just kind of like just roll over, and it just hits behind me.
You throw it at Kael, who kind of just naturally
advantage?
rolls, and then all of a sudden you hear,
Oh, that's true. Advantage.
she pulls out Coral jumps up and pulls out her one of her knives and glancing about. And you get enough to hit him.
Yeah,
Throw a second one
with
right
my advantage.
afterwards,
Yeah.
and poof, hits you as well.
Hey, shh, wake up.
What?
Hey, Coral.
What?
How you doing?
Well, I was sleeping wonderfully
Well,
until you threw a snowball at me.
that's true.
And like she gets this like idea immediately, and but she kind of
As
looks around for
I'm talking
Maze.
to her, I'm
Yeah.
making another snowball.
Yeah, she kind of looks around for Maze real quick.
I think Maze went for a walk, but not by herself. Well, I think she might have been kidnapped.
Let me take
Coral
a look.
stops picking up snow, kind of drops it.
Yeah, look over here, and I'll call both of them over. See these tracks here? She was sitting here. I think she probably got up, saw something. I don't know why she didn't alert us since she was on watch. But see that large footprint? That's probably big enough for her to be picked up.
Perhaps, although they're going to go through the effort of kidnapping her, they didn't really do much for looking around.
I don't know why they wouldn't have done anything to us either.
Well, I guess we should investigate anyway.
I agree. Let's go.
Okay. So I assume Elanduar, you will be. kind of
Yeah, I'll
handling
be
that.
leading the charge on that. I'll use my ice dice.
Nice. Break mine out too. Yes.
Perception is 27.
Okay. So, should have been survival, but that should basically be
well,
the same
it's
or
exactly
higher.
the same.
So,
Pretty great.
I was gonna say it's either the same or it's actually even higher, but I figured they were both really close. So, to track it basically. is what
Okay,
we're
yeah.
aiming for, that's why. You guys start to head through. You have no trouble whatsoever tracking this.
Yeah, it's easy. It's in the snow.
Yeah, it's massive footprints. Just
Can I tell
running
if they
off.
were like if he was like running, like it was at a fast pace, trying to get away?
The first few, it seems like it's a path of both directions. So the first few
coming
kind of
in.
coming in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the right way to word this to show context.
Was he
time.
tippy-toeing on the way in?
It's like he snuck in to kind of be like, what's going on? He was walking normally and then kind of went, what is happening over here? Snuck up, saw Maze, grabbed her, ran off, and then kind of slowed to like a lumbering pace type of thing. Okay. However, after maybe a half hour or so of travel, you don't lose the tracks, but they become more difficult to find because of your excellent roll that I'm carrying through. You are still able to follow these tracks. And looking up, modifying it over for your perception, you do see a cave of some sorts up above.
I think that cave up there is probably big enough to hold the creature that took her. It's probably a hiding spot.
Do you know what kind of creature it is? Is it something that can be reasoned with, or are we in for a fight?
I don't know. Big hairy thing? I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw feet. That's all I've seen. And can I from just the tracks be able to maybe identify what it is?
I think that would also classify as survival. Go ahead and make a roll for it.
Oh, jeez, things are nice. 28.
I'm getting them all out of the way now, so that we've got some challenge later on. 28. Yes. You're familiar with creatures that have humanoid footprints, but do not ever, at any time that you've ever noticed, wear shoes of any kind. These would be the footprints of some form of Yeti. They're a little more rare in the forests. There's a variant breed that's in the forest more so, but you do know that kind of in this side with this style, it's probably going to be a Yeti.
Well, given the climate that we're in and the size of this, I'm guessing it's probably going to be a Yeti.
Are they known to be nocturnal? Do they usually kidnap people?
Kidnapping, I'm not sure about, but they are usually nothing to be reasoned with.
Yeah, works for me.
I'd say we go in and make ourselves an empty cave.
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
What if it's empty when we get there?
Well, then we continue searching, I guess. I didn't think about that.
All right, mission accomplished.
And done. Scene.
We'll see you next week. No.
Dunzo. All right. So, are you guys venturing in?
We're headed up.
Yeah. Let's. I'm gonna head up, and if is it like right into the cave side? Like can I look into it without being right at the door?
There's kind of a path that goes kind of up there, and as you get closer, you can start to see there are like some bones and refuse kind of laying around the path itself. The closer you get to the cave, the more it seems to kind of grow in amount. And it's like various animal bones, couple that might be humanoid of some kind, but not sure of what. And then it kind of comes up around and then loops back in towards where the cave entrance is, and there's kind of this like plateau that comes off, and there's a cliff face there. It's probably only 15-20 foot tall cliff. You could kind of scale it quietly and like peer just over that. Otherwise you would have to kind of come around and go up.
Do you want to just lead the way, and then I could plat us?
I reckon that'll work.
Okay, let's try it that way.
Okay.
All right, I will cast Pass Without a Trace.
That's another great thing about it, switching up the mic situation. I don't have to worry about the one on my chest anymore. Yes.
All right,
Great kind of professional.
that is a plus 10 to sneak bonuses.
Okay, so both you guys roll your stealth. And add 10, and if it's a 1, let me know.
Nope.
22.
Nice.
26.
Okay. So you guys are sneaking your way up, and oh, interesting. I rolled a. What was your roll?
26.
Okay, I thought so. I rolled the same amount on the higher die for the advantage that it has, and it happens to be exactly the same as this passive perception, minus the pluses and stuff.
Right.
You just have like on the die, it's the same. So as far as you guys are aware, you seem to feel very sneaky in this moment.
Yeah.
And
Feeling
you are
sneaky.
headed towards the mouth of the cave. Entering in, again, now the smell hits you. It's not necessarily like warm here, but it's lived in by a large entity. So some of the snow is like melted down.
There's fur everywhere.
There's not like a fire or anything like that, but there is like, some fur scraped along.
Naturally insulated.
Yeah, there's tons of bones and body parts and just
It's been there a while.
disgustingness and like droppings and all kinds of things here that make it stink. But it also kind of lets off a little bit of methane and kind of warms the space slightly. So
Methane?
Yep.
So it's a farting yeti?
it's a
decomposition.
fecal matter
Oh, fecal matter.
surrounding the front of the cave here
Gotcha.
that is releasing methane into the air and causing a little bit of a warming effect, kind of a greenhouse effect here.
The Yeti is also related to the cow. You did not know.
I did not know that.
The mini does have horns.
Well, I'll go in. I'm not going to equip Wooster Bass. I'll just have a longbow. I don't want to create an avalanche.
Okay.
Snow ourselves in.
Wonderful to remind the DM of natural things that can cause trouble.
I'm starting to think of these things because I've made some mistakes starting Coral.
Yeah. I forgot to roll for her.
Oh, she's going to roll low and then...
No, she's fine. She's
she's-
coral.
yeah.
So 17 on the die. That's like a 4,000.
plus plat. Yeah.
Like that's a 27 before even adding her own stuff, and she is a rogue that can turn invisible.
Right.
So actually, I think she has advantage on stealth anyways with her attire. So, anywho. You guys start to make your way in there, sneaking along, kind of keeping to the shadows at the edge of the cave pathway here. It's not difficult to follow. It's just one straight path in. And you come to a point where it kind of opens up a little bit. And you see kind of piles of like furs and such. There's some odd assortments of like boxes and like trinkets of kind of things. So there's like just stuff you would just straight up see when it's like larger stuff. There's like some boxes, there's some furs kind of laid along, not very well dealt with by any means, just kind of like ripped off and like laid down as like a makeshift bed of some kind. That's very, very large. As well as like a couple of random like pieces of armor and like weaponry just kind of laying about. While this is one of the safer places to travel in this general area is just not safe to travel in. So those that have made their way through, many of them have not returned. Looks like a lot of them met their ends in this cave. Some may be seeking out this individual, others maybe being caught unawares. You do see kind of sleeping over on that pile of furs, just kind of like not curled up like a little ball, but just kind of like is the large form, white furred, large purple hands, feet, kind of pushed in, scrunched up nose, protruded jaw, fangs kind of sticking over the front and up from the bottom as well, and a set of deep colored kind of bluish purple horns kind of pointing off from its head. And it's just...
How far away from it am I?
At this point, probably... 40 feet or so.
You want me to just shoot it? I can shoot it.
No.
That's right there. Just let me shoot it. Just let me shoot it.
Do I see Maze anywhere?
Perception roll, sir.
Probably not.
That's where we're here. I forgot.
Less than 10.
A 7.
You don't see her.
Well, I don't see Maze anywhere.
Did you check under the Yeti? Can I roll too? Yeah. 21.
I was actually checking your passive like right as you were asking because I was just going to see. With a 21, you also don't see Maze anywhere. You do, however, see that there are other tunnels now that come from this area. And on even from this range, you can see that it doesn't look like the Yeti itself has gone through these tunnels, but they do look traveled in some capacity. All of them do.
Like they're not big enough for a Yeti?
Correct.
Okay.
They're big enough for a normal-sized humanoid,
They're not-
but they are
not a
not
Yeti.
big enough for a Yeti.
Okay. Well, I don't see her either. Maybe she escaped? I don't
Where
know.
would she escape to?
Well, do you see those tunnels right there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's big enough for her to, like, walk away. And it's sleeping, so maybe the Yeti used her as a pillow, and then he rolled over and she got out.
Perhaps, although I don't know if just shooting it would be a good idea right now.
Yeah, but I don't think asking it a question is going to be good either.
You make your decision.
I'm going to shoot it in the head.
And its eyes pop open.
Shoot it in the head.
Okay, make a attack roll. You finally got enough to smell you.
Attack. Attack is here.
And you're shooting with
Oh, that's a 10 now.
your original bow.
Yes, with the original bow, just a straight shot. That's 20 to hit.
20 to hit. And that does hit.
Okay. 28. I haven't cast Hunter's Mark on it yet. 8 points of damage.
And?
Another 4.
Okay, so
22 damage.
at this point,
roll initiative.
roll initiative.
Yeah.
So that was 18 total?
No, 12 total.
12 total. Okay, perfect.
I got 18 on my roll.
Nice. It's weird. You didn't say that out loud yet, did you?
No.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Today is going to be a good roll day. 19 plus 4, 23.
you said 23?
Yep.
Okay. Conveniently, you go first.
All right.
So get yourself situated for what you will be doing.
I will first cast Hunter's Mark on it,
Okay,
and then shoot it 2 times with my bow.
excellent.
Oh, God. There goes that. 13 to hit.
13 does not hit, so you fire the bow, hits off. Also, Kael, you noticed something odd whenever Elanduar shot his bow. It hit the Yeti and seemed to kind of like have this purplish
Plop.
pulse to it that kind of blackened before it went away.
That
It
did
was very
extra
quick.
damage.
And did you make your second?
I did. 21 to hit.
21 does hit.
Okay. And I have Colossal Slayer, and he's already been damaged.
Oh boy.
And we do this, and we roll that. Ten. 18 points of damage.
18.
With one of them being necrotic damage.
18 is whatever number. Perfect. So at this point, it's been hit by Elanduar and stands up to his full 20-foot height and just roars forward at the two of you.
Excuse me, sir. We're sneaking here. Please keep it down. I don't want to cause an avalanche.
As per usual, Coral is nowhere to be seen in this moment.
Of course she is.
Because of who
Where
she is and what she does. And the Yeti, knowing who has hit it, there's you, Kael. You get to be that guy. Neither one of you guys are on the camera, though. We'll put you there and there. The Yeti is going to do a thing. So,
Do the thing.
yikes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm doing that. Because it's what it would do. So it stands up, seeing these attackers after already being hit once. 2 individuals standing at the mouth of its home, brandishing weapons at it. It, how far is it? 30 feet. So it.
Actually not brandishing a weapon yet. It's only a
You
bonus
are
roll.
a weapon. 5, 10,
bonus
15,
action.
20,
Get whatever one I
25,
want.
30. So it's going to take like one step forward, stepping off its bed. And it it's going to release this cone of frigid air. I need each one of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Add 2.
Add 2.
Oh boy.
22.
22. Okay.
16.
So.
Oh wait, yeah, 16.
Why is that one?
I did the 2.
That's a 10. Kael, you do make the save. Come on. However, Elanduar, you do not. You miss it by 2. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly the amount. Oh, no, one shy of the exact amount of D8s that I own.
D8s? Oh god.
There's a lot.
Yes. So, I need a calculator.
Is that cold damage?
That is specifically cold damage.
All
yes.
right.
You have resistance.
Yep. Which means you will take
Wait,
half.
Do I have resistance?
And you naturally have resistance to cold, so you will take half of half.
Half of half.
So
And then I passed the thing, so it's half of half of half.
half of half. So like you pass the thing, so it's halved, and then you have resistance to cold, so then it's halved.
Yeah.
So
and
you're
then I
quarter
have
damage,
more
basically.
resistance to cold
Half.
because of my aura,
Which is, explain to me while I do the math.
which
here.
is being creatures while unconscious have resistance to. No, I guess it's spells.
Yeah, and if it's just resistance, you already have resistance to this specific damage type, so it would just be one extra thing. That's a good catch, though. Like,
Just keep on going.
So
I'm gonna take
8.
1/8 of damage.
Yikes, I got 2 8s on this. 8 plus 7 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 plus 4 plus 8 equals 58 points of damage, which halved would be 29. So Elanduar, you take 29.
After that's 15.
And then
15 or 14.
14. It's on the lower end. So you take 14 Kael. So 29 Elanduar, 14 for Kael, and you do not hear any screams or squeals from your invisible little friend.
Fran.
As a reaction, I'm also going to do absorb elements.
Ooh, okay, cool.
What's that do?
The next time I attack, I get to take. So I get another. What's it called? The next time that he tries to do that, it will be lessened effect again. So another resistance to that. And then I also get to my next attack. I get to do. I cast it at third level, so I do 3d6 of cold damage back.
You do it immediately or after you
Once I
Yeah,
hit.
that's what I thought it was. Once you hit something, you're able to unleash that.
Yes.
Nice. Well, that brings us around to Kael'Xstrats.
Well, I guess I should probably close ye old Gaparoo there.
All the way up.
Yep.
5, 10, 15, 20. Yep, no problem.
Standing a little bit off to the side so that
Perfect. About
he's
20,
not
25
covered.
feet of movement there, so you do still have
Yep.
plenty of movement. Cobwebs from the Halloween special are still floating around me.
I found some in my dice bag the other day. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with my sword.
Okay.
My green sword.
Strats runs up and summons a sword into his hands, the twisted vines extending out for the cross guard, the ruby appearing at the base, the bright silver blade shooting forward and swinging towards it.
26 and 25.
And both of those hit.
Alright. I will go ahead and smite
Oh, boy.
on both.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do rolls in math.
Okay, perfect.
because that's.
And I'm going to roll for Coral. Because I'm going to try not to forget her this time, like I did a few times maybe in the past. Because she is part of one of your guys' allies, so.
She decides when she wants to participate. That's
Right, yeah, pretty much.
You guys are doing fine. Plink, plink. Well, sure, it's not really a plink.
So, Elanduar, that will bring us back around to you.
Okay. Let's see. I'm wondering if I want to do a sharpshooter. Yeah, on my first shot, I'm gonna do sharpshooter.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Why did I remember Coral? So Coral is a rogue. Coral is completely hidden. Coral would then have sneak attack damage. Mm-hmm. Coral would also be able, as a small goblin with something massively larger than her, be able to use Fury of the Small. And she hit. So she does...
I'm going to be shooting a dead creature.
Jesus. Why did I do this to myself? Hope it's still alive. She does 5d6 just off of sneak attack. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What does that do?
5 plus a 10. And then arrow is another d6. Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
16? Yes, 16 does hit. Good Lord. 3 5s on d6s. So she gets 15 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 10 plus 3. It's certainly still alive, which makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
Certainly.
Yeah.
How much did she?
She did 37 points of damage.
Or I did 45.
So my first shot was a sharpshooter hit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 23 points of regular damage.
I might have to switch up and be a small creature just to have that Fury of the Small. That's awesome. That extra 10 points. I mean, it's like once per long rest, but still.
It's a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
Like at the right moment, that die. How much damage?
So for the first shot, sharpshooter, it was 23 points of regular damage, 1 point of necrotic, and 10 points of cold.
So 34?
Yeah, if it didn't have any resistance to cold or anything.
How many?
Like that.
10 of cold, you said?
10 of cold.
I think it's probably immune, actually. I don't know for sure. I think it is. Yeah. Damage immunity is cold, so 10 of cold?
10 of cold would be negated, so 24 on my first shot.
Okay, 24 total.
Yep. Okay. And I will shoot it again without sharpshooter.
Okay.
It's a 7.
You're doing the necrotic damage, right?
Yep. That was 17 to hit.
Yes.
Big old thing like that. Friggin' miss.
Oh man, those are all terrible. 4, 5, 6, 10 points of damage. Still able to kill it.
Okay.
And again, one of those points was necrotic.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That one, on this individual, you won't have to tell me. You just say specifically what it is, or what the total is. His immunities are cold. You can tell that when you hit him with the cold blast from the arrow, it just kind of like did nothing. Like it shot in front of him, and he didn't even blink about it.
It was like the snowball that you hit me with.
Almost kind of like, you see almost this like smile in his face. Just
almost refreshed.
Yeah.
A splash
Actually
of...
heals him up about 40 points. Here.
What? He's got absorb elements too?
Yeah, right. It does bring us to his turn. However, before his turn, I need to make sure that he's still
alive. He roared. He hit us kind of hard. We killed him very, very quickly.
He was just barely still standing. Just barely. He's hanging on by a thread. If it wasn't for the cold immunity, he would be dead. So
that's the problem with the absorb elements is they usually what is
like
dealt
a dragon,
they are going to be immune to it.
Yeah.
Which is nice if there's more than one enemy, but there's only one here.
It doesn't have any idea where Coral is still. But you've done more things to it. You've done more straight up damage to it. This targets only more. Okay, cool. So it can, so it's going to do this. So it's going to look at you, Elanduar, and you feel this like sense of cold just like swell up through your legs and up through your body. Your arms kind of go stiff, and I need you to make a Constitution save.
Add 2.
Woo, that's good. That's a 19.
Plus my 2.
Yeah, that was plus your 2.
And
And you said Constitution, right?
Yeah.
yeah, Constitution.
I've been rolling really
It
well.
was a DC of 18. God.
So what you're saying is Aura Protection is good.
How long does Aura Protection go? How far?
Until I am unconscious.
Like, what's its range?
30 yards. Feet.
30
whatever.
feet? Oh. If you'd have been on the other side of him, it wouldn't have worked.
Right, but I
But
wasn't
because
about to
you're
do
still there, you're within 25 feet of him. That's perfect. And this is why it's really nice to have the actual battle map now.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. But
Well-
it looks at you and does that, and then it turns down towards Kael Strats and just swings twice with its claws.
It's cold.
Bars.
Let's roll both of them at once. One is a natural 1, so just kind of whiffs, and you kind of do that laugh, and it goes, just like catches you under the jaw and kind of shuts your jaw with a 19 on the die plus 7, plus 11 actually. Wow,
It doesn't crit.
it does not crit, which would have been interesting. However, it does do. 1 to the 2d6. So 6 points of slashing damage plus 8 points of cold damage, halved to 4 because your resistance.
Yeah, so 10.
Yes.
No.
Golly. And that, unfortunately for it, is its turn. Actually, wait. It has, it's in this whole space. It's going to move, which does give you opportunity attack, and we'll see what happens.
Tower in the corner.
19?
Yep.
Okay.
19
Sentinel.
hits and your sentinel, so
It goes
not
nowhere.
Wow.
Alright, and then I'll reroll that. Oh, hey, that's a lot better. What's 9 plus 4?
13?
We would have killed it last round.
Didn't add your bonus.
I didn't add my strength. It's fine. Good. 12?
12 points of damage.
Yeah, wait. No, it's plus 1. 13.
Perfect. All you needed was 4.
Yep.
So it's
Yep,
like
if I would've
it
just
slashes
added my
down at
strength to the
you,
last
misses,
one,
hits
it's
up
missed
into your jaw, and then goes to kind of move around you. And as it does, it kind of leans forward, and you just stare at the eyes and right under the neck, just bubbles this blackish blood up, and just falls.
Yeah. As it tries to run.
Yep.
And that's why it has 0 movement.
No, that's true. Hey, Kael Strats, check inside the body. Is Maze inside him?
I don't think I'd be able to recognize her. If she was.
Oh, it's not. It wasn't her in a Yeti suit.
Could you, how about this? I'll stand guard, and how about you make a cloak?
Oh, yes. I'll try to make a Yeti cloak.
Okay.
Yet
Were we doing survival or medicine for that?
We were
survival.
doing
I
survival.
think, which we'll continue to do because
Okay.
that's precedent basically at this point.
Oh, that's cocked. That's a lot worse. It was between a 17 and 10 on the cock, and then it rolled a 4 plus So 14.
Yeah. You get to the point of kind of skinning a fairly decent portion. Are you making this for yourself, for Coral, or for Kael? Or for Maze?
Not for me. I've already got one.
I'm trying to make like a small one, like for Coral.
Okay. Cool. So you kind of carve off, you kind of get into one arm, which is like the size of Coral, and you kind of mess up a little bit and you're just not quite happy with it, so you move to the other one, and you do end up getting kind of a clean like patch of it that could be used. There's enough of it there to make like a hooded
Or like a
kind of
maybe even a
winter
bedroll or whatever.
Yeah, you can get multiple things off
yeah,
this.
okay.
I mean, it's massive. It's 20 feet tall,
Yeah.
like size, like height-wise, and it's probably a good 8 feet
You know
wide.
what? You know what? I'm going to make a proper sling for Coral on Kael.
Okay.
Like she's always been kind of just hanging out in what he's already
Inside
got.
my tabard.
Yeah. So I'm going to make a proper.
Cool. Yeah, so you get
of
enough
bedding.
materials to craft something like that. However, with the roll, that's where you end this. Otherwise, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you now have materials from a Yeti hide. You can put that in as just like Yeti hide, maybe.
Could I,
Yes, probably.
in that time, go looking about in like the boxes of stuff to see if there's any sign of Maze or Maze's belongings?
Make investigation.
It is a 16.
The specific thing you were looking for, you do not find. You don't find Maze. You don't find her belongings. You don't find like the mace that she carries. Nothing of hers. However, throughout the searching, you do find enough plate armor to put together and kind of cobble together a suit of plate armor, basically, at this point, if you chose to. It's not anything super special, but it would classify itself as plate armor.
Let me make sure.
If you chose to.
I'm going to consult my my knowledge of plate armor and the positives and negatives.
So you sit
therein
down
for
and
a
meditate
moment.
on the armor.
I'll go ahead and grab it because if nothing else, I could probably.
Perfect. You're going to fashion it together with just some rope and stuff to just make it something useful that you don't necessarily have to worry about the encumbrance of. Kind of a backpack of armor type of situation. With the help of Coral, who appears beside you from behind one of the boxes as she appeared, shot, and then went back behind the box to hide. And that's where she was actually at during this exchange. So she gets it, helps you get it affixed to yourself, and there you guys are.
Okay. After I pretty much get this pile of Yeti hide, I will look for like traces of Maze.
Okay.
See if she has been
Do
here
an
or whatever.
investigation roll.
Investigation.
'Cause you're kind of like, or survival, because you're looking for basically kind of tracks and things of a living creature.
Investigation will be a 13 and a 22 for
Yeah,
survival.
I mean, you're really realistically it's survival because you're trying to track Maze. You're trying to track her down, not just searching stuff.
Okay.
And you're very specific in what you're doing. Because of that, you don't see anything that tells you specifically this is the way Maze went, like the exact footprint or a piece of cloth or anything like that. But it does appear like the central tunnel out of the three kind of amongst the wall, the back wall of here, seems freshly traveled by a few individuals.
A few.
A
So there's-
standard humanoid size.
Hey, Kael. Stop.
Yes.
Stop meditating over there on your boxes. Look at this. There's this middle trail here has footprints. It's more than one though. I don't recognize one, but I think the other one might be Maze's footprints.
So there's 2 footprints.
At least. There's more than 2 people here.
Does it look like there's a struggle?
I don't know. Does it look like there was a struggle? Was one being dragged?
I wouldn't call it really a struggle per se.
Like a apprehend? I don't know if I'd be able to tell that from footprints though. Although with the 22, maybe.
I mean,
Based on the structure of the way the footprints are, it seems almost akin to some form of like handoff. Not like the Yeti went, here you go, but maybe the Yeti set her down there and then she got taken away.
Okay. Well, I guess we follow the footprints then.
Yes. Let's be quiet about it once more.
And we're gonna play.
We are.
Every time.
We're gonna plot again.
RoleThis.com/shop. I love that this book is dry erase. I have noticed a weird thing with it though. The pages kind of like warp a little bit. I don't understand why.
Is that the binding, probably?
No, it's like actually, it's more like the outside. It's almost like the inside kind of dips a little more for some reason, and I don't know what's going on. But oh well. What were you guys' roles again?
We are stealthing.
For stealth, yeah.
We're stealthing.
Finally got to have you guys fight a abominable
20.
Yeti, by the way.
You've been trying that for a while.
20? Okay, yes, I have been. You guys snuck right by it.
27.
20 and 27. Okay, and a million or so.
6 million.
So you guys begin to make your way down this dark cave, which Kael,
Yes.
you can't see.
No.
Theoretically, you couldn't have been able to see in the other space, but I didn't think of it, so we're ignoring that as a fact. At this moment, you cannot see stepping into here. We'll say there was some light from outside the cave entrance. It was a straight path. Made it dim light in here. But as you guys continue down the path farther into the mountainside, it gets too dark for you to be able to just see naturally because you do not have dark vision.
What is your problem, Kael? Keep up, please.
It dark.
It's
It dark.
oh,
In here.
what I can see.
Well, that's good for you.
I can see too.
You want to hold on to my cape, little one?
That's just grand.
I'm fine. You can
No,
hold on to
no,
mine.
I was talking to the big one, just calling him little one for fun.
Yeah, we'll see who's little when we get out of here.
So are you doing anything to combat that, or are you going to just try to be led in some capacity?
I'm just gonna be led in some capacity.
Okay, perfect. How would
Actually,
you
I'm gonna
choose-
grab onto his cloak
Okay.
and yank.
It happens. It just
Cool.
You just lead the way, big boy.
So yeah, I'll. Okay, I'll. Just don't pull so hard.
okay.
And
So
I will
Figured a
then
big
I will
man
then
like you could
purposely
handle
like
it.
lead him into like a stalactite.
all right, perfect. So you bump into a stalactite, and then you guys continue on. Stalagmite, actually.
Yeah, it would be a mite. Yeah.
But so you bump into a stalagmite, and then are led on without much more struggle going forward. As you kind of continue through, it still remains dark for you, Kael. Elanduar, however, you see that the cave here stops being covered in snow and ice, and it doesn't like warm up, but it seems that
Does it
the
feel like
wind
we're
stops
going
blowing
down?
in, and it does start to go down for a ways, and then comes back up, and then goes down, spirals off. And as you kind of continue on this for a ways, you start to wonder if it's really worth it and if you're even going the right direction.
Can I
anymore.
still see the footprints, or do I need to light the torch for that?
We'll answer that question after our break. So this week, we do not have a giveaway right now. It will tell you that during the halfway point. Please ignore it. You can put Reckless in the chat if you want. Put an exclamation point behind it, and then go to recklessdeck.com and save yourself 15% using the code RoleThis1. Or spend some time at Found Familiar's website using the code RoleThis to save 10%. Or head to RoleThis.com/arcane to automatically save 10% off anything at Arcane Goods. Or go to RoleThis.com/shop and buy a shirt or a hoodie. But we will be back after whatever you choose to do with your time within about 10 minutes. So we will see you then.
Got you again.
Ah,
Windows 10.
I hate tasking you on Windows 10, man. Like,
I'm not a computer person.
Yes, you are.
I loved that. If you guys haven't watched Reckless Halloween yet, go watch it.
It's
Bobby is an IT professional.
yeah.
So him going, I'm not a computer guy, as Alistair was the funniest thing ever. Like, every time I've watched it back so far, I've laughed at that.
There's a lot of great
Every
parts
bit
in that
of venom.
episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming from someone who's heard that I don't know how many times. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And like the whole seriously, go like as soon as we wrap tonight, go to youtube.com/RoleThis and watch Reckless Halloween. It's wonderful. Like, I was very, very happy with the way everybody went through stuff. It was a fun little like one shot, you know? It was just a fun game. Like, somebody complained to me about me making it too fun for people.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
the guy I messaged you about. Yeah. We had a guy that told me I was making the game too fun for the players. And I was like, well, it's a game. And my job is to keep them entertained and enjoying themselves. So
There are some DMs that are like, let's see how fast I can kill you.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like, I throw some stuff at you guys, but like overall, I want you to have a good time. That's what we're here for. If you guys don't show up because I'm an asshole to you, I don't get to be a DM anymore. So there's a lesson for you guys watching. Don't be a dick to your players. But also don't be a dick to your DMs because, you know.
Oh, EA.
So, as you guys continue on, you were about to look for some more tracks.
Yes.
Elanduar.
Shackaroo.
You would have the ability to do so at disadvantage because of the dark vision and the change of the space here. However, you're in the mountains, so you can just do a straight roll.
18 plus bonuses.
So
You found it.
you can 18 plus that's enough. You do in fact see that through a couple of like just little scuffs and such at this point, the kind of rustles in the dirt on this kind of stone floor, you do see that the tracks do continue. They haven't branched off anywhere. You have passed a couple of spaces that did kind of branch out, and this is why you kind of started worrying about it. But at this point, they seem to still be following the central path, which has started a kind of downward decline again.
Well, I think we're still on the right path, but this seems to be taking a long time. I'm a little worried.
Right, well.
I mean, Maze
guess
can
she's
probably handle herself, but if she's already captured or whatnot.
Well, what do you suggest we do? Do we just turn back?
Well, I think, do you want to light the torch or keep it? I mean, if we do that, we're going to say, hey, we're coming, but Platt ended a little while ago. It only lasts for like an hour.
Okay. I don't know how any of these mysterious ways of the woods work.
Yeah.
Just nature. That's all I know. Just nature, not woods.
What do you think? You think you want to keep on
I get out a torch.
Walking in the dark?
I get out a torch and I was like, you're going to have to light it for me, big boy. I can't see it.
Okay, then I take out some flint.
And it does light up. I'm not going to do anything weird to you on that. You now have colored lights in the space. You can see the various changes of things, including that there does seem to be kind of a little bit of like mossy growth in this area. And there is some kind of water permeating through the surface here and kind of dripping from the stalactites every once in a while.
Okay, I think we should continue on. Maybe head in the back, so the light is all the way back there, like 10 feet back, 20. Right. Keep on going. 30, 40.
Nope.
Oh, okay, 30.
No.
20. 15.
6.9.
Okay, 6.9.
Almost 7.
Okay.
Seems a safe distance. All right. Well, I will continue down the path, kind of keeping an eye for those footprints, seeing if they go anywhere.
Trying not to look at the monster manual because I have line of sight to it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like trying to keep it down.
I saw
here
kobolds
so you can't
and I'm like,
quite
no.
see it, but that is what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to find a specific thing that tells me about the thing that's in my head, but I don't think it actually exists, so I might just create it on the fly.
Yeah, do
which will be super fun. Because this is happening, and I don't care if it does mean I have to just make it right now. You guys, after traveling through for a while and starting to get a little tired, make... This is off to a great start. I was about to say brain rolls.
Brain rolls.
So I'm going to call it
Think good rolls.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
So make wisdom checks. Just checks.
Good rolls.
Not saves yet.
17.
21.
Okay. So, Kael,
Yes.
you swear with 100% certainty you glanced down one of the tunnels and saw this kind of slightly ethereal, pale-skinned, white hair individual that was female, beautiful, and may or may not have been wearing clothes. And then then she seems to kind of duck away.
I think I saw a naked lady.
Down here, you silly man. There's no naked ladies down
And
here.
you did not see anything of the sort.
There
It
is.
wasn't Maze though. It was someone else.
Oh yeah,
What-
that's weird. I did just kind of describe Maze in that.
Was
as
it?
well.
Was it
Pale
another
skin,
elf?
Pale hair. Humanoid.
I don't know.
What it
Could have
was?
been elf or
Wasn't
human.
looking at the ears.
Oh, okay.
It was like elf or human of some kind.
Yeah.
It seemed.
I think you've been in the dark for too long. I didn't see anything.
You do both start to hear music and singing in your heads. As far as you know, it's coming from the cavern ahead of you.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Is it a SpongeBob?
What is SpongeBob? SpongeBob.
It sounds
Sponge-
like a multitude of, almost like bordering upon a choir, but not that many. More like 4 to 6 female voices singing beautifully ahead of you.
Do you remember
Player
if
thinks he
Maze
knows what
was?
it is.
I'm sure he does.
Do you remember if Maze was singing?
I never heard her sing. She barely even talks.
I doubt she has a choir in the mountains.
Doubt it.
But why would that be going on down here? Can I do like I'll try to see if I know of these creatures or have heard of these things.
Before that, I need you both to make wisdom rolls again. Saves this time.
So do I get +2?
Yeah,
Sweet.
because it's a save. Wisdom save?
Yes.
27.
Ooh, 18.
I have a +8 on my wisdom plus the +2. So
Elanduar, you are enamored by this music. It is absolutely the most beautiful thing you've ever heard. You need to see where it's coming from. You have to see where this is coming from right now.
Is it a charm spell? If it's charmed, I have advantage on that.
Roll again.
Okay. It is a lot worse.
He does not
Statement
succeed.
still stands.
All right.
I think this is the lady that you were talking about. Let's find out. And I will.
Nope.
I will sprint.
Nope.
I will go.
Dexterity roll, strength.
Natural 20.
Ooh, I got a 17 plus 8, but
Huh. That's an interesting situation because that's quite a difference. What's your
Wait, you
what's
have
your
8
strength?
dexterity?
yeah, my dexterity is huge.
What's your bonus to your strength?
Do I get?
Kael?
No, you don't get saves.
Was I save?
No.
No.
What sort?
Plus 4. So it's a 21.
What's your plus to it? Oh, it's only 21. Doesn't matter then.
Okay.
Like if it was
23.
being more.
Yeah,
than
if
5
it was a
difference,
save,
I
if it
would
was a
kind of
save, it would be
consider
a
but,
plus 8.
I think they're like
even
checks
with
against
a
each
natural
other.
20, I think there's a thing there. But
Yeah.
you try very hard to get out and go to this Elanduar, and even though you've now been held back,
Yeah.
you're still pulling like a dog on a leash type of thing, and you are not stopping of trying to get to this sound. You really want to go find out what's going on.
Is Cole, where are you?
I have to check something.
I'm going to attempt to put out his torch and break his grapple.
Roll a d20.
3. I ran out of good rolls. The last 2 have been a 2 and a 3.
We'll be attempting to put out the torch first.
Yes.
That's what you're attempting in this action
Uh-huh.
round. You guys are basically almost in like an initiative round here.
Yeah.
And you are attempting to put out the torch.
Yes.
So make a sleight of hand roll.
I'm not going to use that one.
Because you're really trying to like be sneaky and like get it.
It's still a 2. Plus sleight of hand, so a 6.
You go to do that and you don't even have to roll anything. You just like move it and you you were kind of going for it like at this level and you go for it and you just like hit your fingers against his chest, which is just
Let's
like arm.
go with me. I'm going to make you blind and I'm going to visit with my lovely ladies. Let's go.
I just headbutt him. I've got one hand here. This one's being held on to him. I'm just gonna headbutt him.
Attack roll with advantage because he's grappled.
Yeah, I'm grappled.
Is that a strength strength added to it? Hold on,
Yeah.
it's an unarmed strike, right?
It's an unarmed strike.
All right, so 25,
That hits.
and it does 4 bludgeoning damage.
Mark off 4 bludgeoning damage.
Do I get knocked over or anything like that too?
Did you try to knock him over with it?
No, I'm just headbutting him to
Yeah.
try to snap him out of
It's
it.
like trying to snap him out of it.
What are you?
Go ahead and make another save now. That's a good idea. I like that. Make another save for wisdom.
Ooh, natural 20.
You kind of snap back,
Big brain plays.
and,
Why'd you do that?
and now you just have a headache that's like pounding against your skull.
I'm gonna lay on hands now. On the,
Okay, nice, yeah. For the same amount.
for more than that.
Because he
I'm
has
pretty
taken
hurt.
a bit of damage.
I'm gonna do 20.
Okay. So you headbutt him, heal his headache, and you guys still hear the music. However, you are not drawn to it in the sense of feeling that unquenchable desire to go to it. You are still curious, like what is going on? We should probably check this out. But you are not under any other will than your own at this point.
Why did you do that?
You were running towards your inevitable doom, and I figured a headache would be better.
What, from the scene people?
The music, yeah.
It's evil.
Well, I don't know if it's evil, but it certainly had you entranced.
Okay. I'm going to take like 2. I don't know what I have on me and stick it in my ears.
Should probably get ready.
Okay. Yeah, that's right, Coral. I was looking at her stuff.
Well, whatever it is, add 2.
Plus, so 17 plus. probably enough, except for actually not. Coral is not responding to you. However, roll perception rolls for me.
21.
Ahead and to the right, you see this kind of like faint bluish glow. And as you notice it, you see a little 2.5 foot tall shadow appear and slowly walk forward around the corner.
Oh, no.
Kind of wobbling and just looking.
I need to get Coral.
We need to go get her.
Yeah, she's going across. She's doing the same thing you were doing.
Okay, let's go.
Perfect. You guys run ahead. Are you ignoring any realm of stealth in this instance and just trying to get there as quick as you can?
I'll do like a slunk up to it.
I imagine. Do you know that like
slunk.
gif of the like white and black cat that kind of does that like and then like walks forward? That's what I was imagining right
Like,
there.
whenever I think of the word slunk, if it's onomatopoetic, it is not what I would call stealthy.
I wouldn't either, so I'm not gonna have you roll stealth roll. But I'm also not gonna consider that you like scuffled over a bunch of stuff and ran into a wall or something of that nature and make you do anything along those lines. So you have.
There was great haste in mine. I'm not even bothering with the
You're just
stuff.
running.
I'm
Perfect.
dispensing with that.
So you run up. Is it time for that yet? I've had something bookmarked for you, Kael, for a very long time.
Probably.
Something that like might finally challenge you. But I don't. I'm not going to try to throw something that's a CR20 at you by yourself or whatever.
Or just
and
like
that's why I haven't done it yet.
3 people. Like,
Yeah. So you rush past Elanduar, who is being weird. And you make your way around the corner, but Coral is too far forward. However, what you see, too far forward to just like come around and grab her and go type of thing. But you kind of try to reach for her, but she's, 10 or 15 feet out of your grasp because she was just going. She wasn't running, but she was just going.
Yeah.
And this was kind of just on the end here. So what you find, though, is a very surprising sight for this area. There's a pool of water that glows with this kind of teal color, and it lights the whole space and reflects off of various bluish, pinkish, and green crystals that are growing in the walls, and gives this a very beautiful scene. And to enhance that even farther,
to trip.
there are a multitude of beautiful women here, all of which have that strange, almost like albino look to them. However, their eyes match the color of the pool. This kind of like teal glowing color that is entrancing and enticing. And it just kind of like, for a moment, you still feel that kind of residual effect that you'd shaken off earlier, and just kind of shake it off again as you lock eyes with one of them. They are all kind of bathing in this water, brushing their hair out. The one that you had seen seems to walk from the general vicinity of another cave tunnel that you had seen her down, and slowly walks into the water, kind of looks over her shoulder and beckons you to follow her, seemingly unknowing that you had resisted the effect. Coral, however, another one reaches a hand out over the side of the pool towards Coral and kind of motions for her to come forward. The one that you had locked eyes with is just kind of sitting there in the pool, just kind of like, that whole like frog crocodile type thing, just eyes over the water with this kind of mischievous look to her brows. And you now see this as well coming around behind Kael Strats. What are you guys doing? You are very much noticed. The music and singing is still taking place.
I want to scan the room for maze.
Okay, make a perception roll.
Deception roll.
A what?
Deception roll.
Perception.
No. deception
Are
roll.
you making one?
I'm gonna pretend that I'm tranced.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk
Do a
like Coral
deception
does.
roll then, yeah.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Nice. 27 as I scan the room.
You do not see Maze. However, because you rolled 27, this is a side chamber to the path here. And in your haste to run down here, both by your kind of mind breakingness and then also by your urgency to assist Coral, you guys have left the primary path here. You know your way back. You're not lost at this point, but you are not on the main path, and you do know that the trail was still on the main path. From what
We'd
you
have to
were
double
actually
back.
Tracking. Yes. Kael Strats walks away from you, Elanduar, towards these beautiful women, doing exactly the thing that he prevented you from doing previously.
Do I have to roll to see? Yeah, because he didn't say anything to me.
Deception, so you would have to roll insight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 7. I thought it was a natural one.
Either way, that's not enough.
Yeah, it won't be enough. I will get in front of him and try to brace him and say, "Don't do it! Don't do it!"
You fool, out of my way.
Are you trying to contest in any capacity?
No more. I'll just kind of like
Stand off
slump-
to the side,
like,
like what's
kinda
going on, kind
slump
of eyes
off to the
glancing
side.
around.
I won't do anything hostile, like draw my weapons or anything like that. But I'm gonna just kind of hold my distance right there.
Has my stride caught me up with Coral yet? Just because I'm like she's just kind of lumbering and I'm also lumbering, but a lot taller.
Twice her size, 3 times her size, actually.
Yeah.
I would say that you have reached Coral as Coral reaches towards the hand.
Okay.
And while this is kind of happening, 2 of them walk over to you, Elanduar, and just kind of like start to sing to you directly into your ears, getting close to you.
How are you doing, ladies?
And they just continue singing. They don't really give you any like straight up verbal response. It's just this continuous, like there's not necessarily even words to it. It's just sound that seems to just hit you just right.
Are you cold?
In the amount of time that Coral's reaching out to this hand,
Yep.
could I do an insight and grab for Coral, or do I have to do one or the other?
I'll say as you were walking up there, you were doing the insight type of thing.
Okay, 11.
Okay, and what are you trying to figure out?
Are these just trying to charm us to goof with us, or do they
Are they hostile?
seem hostile?
Is that what was the roll?
11.
It's kind of hard to tell, but you do not feel comfortable.
So I'm kind of doing the same thing with the 2. I don't want them to get, flank me. So I'm gonna keep on backing up and trying to figure out what they're up to.
Yeah, and they've now started kind of like pulling on your cloak and stuff, just gently.
My insight's natural 20.
Okay.
We're getting them all.
Trying to kind of figure out the same scenario.
Yeah,
what's going on here?
why
What is
are
this?
you doing this? Why are you
Is this
down
just something
here?
I should give into and be like, sweet, I win? Or is this something where like I'm about to be eaten? You have heard of these types of beings before as more of a cautious whisper of these strange sounds that come from the mountains. These ghostly women that are not women of elf or human descent, but of something else. Something Fey type in some capacity. And very few have ever made it away from their charms. Those that have frequently discuss how others that were with them that were not as strong of will never returned.
Okay. I actually get on intelligence checks on them. I would be able to get roll with advantage on any information. And I can speak Sylvan.
All right.
So am I starting to understand anything they're saying?
They're not saying anything.
They're just
singing.
They're just singing.
They're not saying
la,
like,
la, la.
"Hey, come here. I'm gonna I want you to come over here and hang out with me." They're not like doing that. They're not like speaking words. It's almost more of like I know opera is actually
Right.
words and stuff, but it's more of that type of thing
Melodic
where it's melodic
vocalization.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think
Kind of that type of stuff.
Kill strats. I think we
I'm
should
going
leave.
to attempt to turn the faithless. I present my holy symbol and say, "Begone, Fae!" But I don't say it like that.
But you're like targeting Faye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so what's that do?
they must make a wisdom saving throw. On failure, the creatures. Okay, so hold on. Each Fae or Fiend within 30 feet of me, and I'm like in it, must make a wisdom saving throw. On failure, the creatures turn for 1 minute or until it takes damage.
Turned, meaning in the sense of like they have
Like
the fear
turn the
effect.
dead, yeah.
So they would be trying nothing but to get away from you, in essence.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this? That's the roll they have to make? What's the save?
14.
14, and it's what type?
Wisdom.
Sorry, that was probably loud. Ooh, I'm gonna use my Fey dice. Let's see what happens with that. Sepha, what was the roll I have to beat?
14.
Okay. Ooh, that might be kind of tough for you. You said wisdom? Constitution?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. So, a 14 is what they had to beat. And let me just double check the specific on... Yes, so they do have advantage on that. Because I did find something similar. Sylvan is the language, by the way, too.
Oh. Okay.
So with that, it almost just seems to impact you more and make you more interested. It doesn't still give you specific words or anything.
Right.
They did, however. Oh wait, you said 17. So okay. I thought it was an 18 on the die, but it's actually a 16. However, there's a +2 to wisdom.
No.
So they are not turned. And are you actually at this point it's
no, they're probably not happy that I've just displayed a holy symbol in front of them and told
it
them
kind
to
of
get
like
lost.
it does kind of do this like flash of light across it when you
get
do
lost
this, and it kind of like and whoa, come back here, you. Okay, Coral does make contact with the one that was reaching out. As you kind of did this motion instead of really grabbing a hold of her, you're kind of like reaching for and trying to do both at the same time, but your focus was on the other. And the contact is made with the hands. And with that, Coral has succeeded on the things you need to succeed on, which was actually an intelligence saving throw of all things.
Hey.
Smart goblin.
Because she succeeded on it, and there is no, if someone succeeded, they take half of whatever. She just gets grabbed gently by this individual, who then starts to try to pull her into the water. And I assume at this point you're going to try to grab her?
Yeah.
I will, seeing that, I will run over and try to assist.
Yes, you can do strength.
Okay.
Make a dexterity roll.
Save or just
Check.
Okay. 21.
16.
I'm going to, just with one die, roll for what's going on with you. No. The grip is so light and meant to be kind of this tender, come here type of thing that you just pull her away right before that anything grabs, and you just kind of grabbed her like by her armor, not just like yanking her and choking her out. You just grabbed her armor and just picked her up, and you're just kind of like
neck.
holding her up here, and she's just kind of like just walking in air type of deal. And at this point, you had a 6, you said?
16.
16. You do get away as everything changes. Their eyes flash this kind of reddish color. The lights dim down to a red. The pool of water erupts into flames, and the two that were by you lash out at you, claws and fangs appearing in their mouths and hands, and they grab for you, but you dodge away from them, now realizing that you are under attack here. The one that was going for Coral jumps up out of the fire and kind of stands in front of you. And roll initiative.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
15. Yeah, 15.
9.
9. Well, conveniently, I think that roll was a little early. So, we will pick up with that
Oh boy.
next week because it is
Do I get a reroll?
10 minutes from 9, and I will allow you guys to re-roll because I actually didn't mean to even utter the words to roll yet.
It's going to be
I'm
that
taking
time.
that as on me, and we will pick this up next Monday, which conveniently will be right before we go to Midwest Game Fest.
Hey.
Because what we're doing at Midwest Game Fest for our live performance, we're going to run our normal show on Monday. Then we're going to Midwest Game Fest and performing the show, the next episode of the show, live at Midwest Game Fest, where we will also record it and then air it as a premiere here on Twitch on Monday in that normal time slot. So if you aren't able to make it out to Midwest Game Fest, you will still see the performance that we do there. I can't promise how the quality will be or anything like that because camera angles might be a little weird, so it might be kind of wonky on some spots just because of how we have to set the cameras up to also still let the people that are physically present witness the show as well. But we would love to see you guys out there. However, if you can't make it, there will be a video uploaded on it and aired here in our normal time slot at 7 p.m. Central. So we hope to see you guys there, either in person at Midwest Game Fest or watching that. However, there is still one more episode, just a normal setting before we get there. Hopefully, you guys can find Maze by then. Because that'll be
Maybe.
interesting.
Yeah.
Until then, thank you guys for watching. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.